Persuasive, and I'm going to talk to you about crunch time. I have two questions before I start. First, how many of you play video games? Second, how many know what crunch time is? See, two hands of all of you. Have you ever had that moment where you're working and your boss asks you just to stay a little late to finish a project or finish something up right before the end of the day? Now, imagine that but throughout the week. Then it's throughout the month. Then it's 60 hours to 80 hours to 100-hour work weeks. And this doesn't end. And the worst thing of all is that you work these 100-hour weeks for 2 months and you're only paid for half the work that you do. One of the biggest problems that's facing the video game industry right now is video game crunch time. What crunch time is video games are crunched for deadlines, and so they're forcing their workers to work overtime for around 80 to 100 hours a week. This affects 1.2 million workers across the globe. And I know 100 to 80 hours a week may seem harsh, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. So what is crunch? Well, video game developers are paid off of a salary. This means that they get a certain amount of paycheck every paycheck. It doesn't matter how many hours they work or how well they do. Most video game developer companies crunch their time right before the deadlines. So they take all of their employees around 2 to 3 months before deadlines happen and they crunch them, which means the employees are working 80 to 100 hours a week. And of course, because they're on salary, that means they're not getting paid. Kotaku, a video game journalist, did an average poll, and the average poll was the average worker worked 87 hours a week and only got paid for 40 of it. They also did another poll, and they said 95% of workers in the video game industry experience crunch time, and 53 said that it was a normal part of the job and was to be expected. Crunches can last anywhere from a week to a month to the entire lifetime of a project. And what makes it worse is that DLCs and new content are just keeping crunch times going longer. 12-hour workdays may cause massive burnouts to humans. That's not a normal thing that humans are supposed to be doing. So what does crunch do to the employees? Well, it gives you no benefit outside of the company. You came to the company wanting to help build the games that help brought you up in life, but now you're stuck there 24/7 at a desk, and you really only get to go home to sleep. And you're lucky if you can get weekends off. New York Times says that the common symptoms include visible weight loss, memory loss, ulcers that can cause you to cough up blood, and in some cases, PTSD. Thousands of cases are like this in every company, from Rockstar to Epic Games, all across the board. And why do people stay if the conditions are so bad at crunch time? Well, they come in with a passion. They come in wanting to make the games that made their childhood, and then they come into a very competitive environment. There are thousands, if not millions, of people who want to work on video games, and they come into the environment and then they work 87 hours a week, and it doesn't work with their schedule. They don't get to see their family. They're starting to get physically ill, and then they complain to their boss. And what happens is nothing is done, but they're fired and immediately replaced. So it's really hard to keep a job in the video game industry with all of these hours, with all of these constraints. Another thing that video game industries do with crunch time is cyclical layoffs. So after a big crunch and everybody's worn out, they'll lay off all of those employees and grab new ones that aren't worn out from the crunch time. This happens over and over again, and you're considered a veteran in the video game industry. You've worked more than 5 years. And Emily Bruce Buck, Tall Tale employee, said that after the final season of The Walking Dead, about 2 weeks after, the the CEO of the company gathered all of the employees that worked on that season into a conference room, said our journey is ended and you have 30 minutes to get out of the building. You do not have severances and your healthcare will only last you to the end of the week. This is how bad and stressful crunch is. It seems like the video game industries don't care about their employees and aren't doing anything to stop it. And why does this happen? Because the video game industry is ginormous. It is more than the NFL, NBA, NHL, film, and music industry combined. It racks in nearly $139 billion annually. And video games have come so far. Imagine playing Tetris on the N64, but now you have an Xbox One where you can play Grand Theft Auto, or you can play Red Dead, which have a lot higher resolution and a lot smoother controls. People expect more out of video games, but it takes effort to make that more. People are working behind the scenes to make the things that help you relax, but in the background, they're suffering. Fortnite is also one of the big causes of this problem. It's a free-to-play game, mostly known for its battle royale, where thousands of people can fight each other. But the main kicker here that affects crunch time is the customizability of each character. You can have different skins, different axes, different guns, and who makes all of that content? There are thousands of employees constantly working in a crunch time environment to roll out these new skins and these new performances. It's hard to keep up with the high demand that is going on. It's also a self-generated cycle. So a group will work in a crunch time environment and let's say put out 30 Fortnite skins a week. And the company sees that and they say, that's good, that's the new standard. And then when they can't keep up with that 30 skins a week because they're failing in crunch, the company will just fire them and hire a whole new batch of people which can keep up with that 30. And then they'll raise the bar because they haven't been worn out by crunch time. And it just keeps spiraling and spiraling and making the environment worse. And I know this sounds awful, but there is some things that we can do to stop it. The first is just know about it. Again, two hands at the beginning didn't even know what crunch time was. Didn't even know that these people were suffering to help you relax. If you know about it, you can spread the word, and that helps bring power to the people who are making the games. The second is be patient. One of the biggest things that affects crunch time right now is the high demand for the high quality. If you wait, New York Times did a study that said if you wait 5 to 6 months for a game, it reduces overall crunch time by about 15%. So if you can wait a little longer to get that new Fortnite skin, or if you can wait a little longer for that new release game, you will be saving the stress of a whole bunch of people. The third option, which may not seem usual, is a union. Unions are built to bring people together and to raise them on an equal platform with business. So that way the people have a voice and also the business has a voice. Unions are made to create better work environments for people. And if you're working 87 hours a week and you have stomach ulcers that are making you bleed, you need a union to protect you and be at your side. And there actually is a grassroots union that started in Canada, which is called the Game Workers Unite. It currently has over 250,000 members right now. So overall, for the video games that help you relax, there is a dark side to it, the crunch. Crunch where people are working and suffering in the background that you didn't even know about. And video game industries are getting away with it. But there is some solutions, and they're not hard to do. Just be a little bit more patient and spread the word. Let people know.